Hello and welcome back to BritSciFi from the National Space Centre. We got rid of the other guy. He's gone. It must be the red shirt thing.
I'm still here.
Oh, okay, so he's doing the IT. We hope you've had a fantastic day with us. We've had a fabulous time. We've spoken to some fantastic people. And now we thought we'd round it up in true British style with a chat show on a Saturday night. I mean, there's nothing better on TV at the moment, especially if you're from Leicester. Come on, Leicester. Sorry, if you're not into soccer ball, that means nothing to you. So we're going to be joined by three fantastic guests this evening. I'm just going to kick off with the first one in just a second's time. But just to let you know a little bit more about what we've coming tomorrow. So if you'd like to come and join us tomorrow, then the IT guy is going to make it work. This is the schedule that we will produce. We will publish now on the Facebook page. So for tomorrow, 10 o'clock, kick off in the morning. And thanks to the fabulous people down at Portmeirion, we're going to be taking a village tour. So if you're into The Prisoner at 10 o'clock, do join us. It's fantastic. Great place to go, but you can do that all from the comfort of your sitting room at 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. Then at 10:30, it's a conversation with Paul McGann, Daphne Ashbrook and Yee Jee Tso, who will also be joining us this evening. He's going to be talking about the Doctor Who movie. And then at 12 o'clock, we're going to be in conversation with the fabulous 15th Cyber Legion. So if you love the Cybermen and you could do with a lockdown giggle, shall we say, do join us for that one. And then for anybody who loves the Tomorrow People, at 1:30 we're in conversation with Mike Holloway, Peter Vaughan Clark and Nicholas Young. So that's a great session there. 3 o'clock in conversation with David Bradley, the first Doctor obviously, but also to many of you, you will know him from Harry Potter, Game of Thrones and many other things. 4:15, we're going to have something a bit different. We're going to do a live session. We're joining Daleks on Skype. You didn't know Daleks had Skype, but yes, they do have Skype. We'll be having afternoon tea, so make sure that you've got your scones on hand. I don't know what Daleks eat, but that's what we're having. And then at 6 o'clock, we're going to have the fabulous Chris Thompson is going to show us how to illustrate a 3D TARDIS. So if you're into doing art, then that's the one for you. So that's everything for tomorrow, but let's do tonight, shall we? Let us go over and join Jason from Avenue Who. Yay, we made the magic work.
Hi.
Hello, how are you? How's everything going?
Oh, I'm very well, thank you. And this is very exciting. So thank you so much for inviting me along.
No, you're very welcome.
And introduce you to some of my friends.
Oh, we can't wait to meet your friends. And a huge thank you to Mark as well from Baystar who set this up. So it's lovely to meet you in person, as it were, through the interweb. But I've mentioned the word Avenue Who, but could you just give us a very brief overview? What is Avenue Who and where did the idea come from?
Well, the name might sound familiar to some people out there because, you know, there's a West End show and it's been over on Broadway as well. And that's known as Avenue Q. Now, if you're aware of that, that's a puppet show. And I've always been a massive fan of all Muppety type things. and I've also been a massive Doctor Who fan. And I just thought, wouldn't it be great if puppets and Doctor Who came together? And then the idea for Avenue Who was born, you see. So I've taken Avenue from the puppety thing and Who from the Doctor Who and put them together. It really is that simple.
That's all right. I do rocket science every day, so you're all right. It is fantastic. We've been posting some of your YouTube clips on the Facebook page, but if anybody hasn't seen them yet after this session, obviously, do go and check out. We will put links to your Facebook page and YouTube in the comments, so people will be able to go and have a look.
Don't forget to click and subscribe.
Click and subscribe.
Whatever you do in the social media world.
Is puppetry your background then? Is that something that you've done for a long time?
Well, no, actually, I'm an artist, an illustrator, a sculptor, and all these things sort of come together and overlap, I guess. And so I always was a big fan of puppets and things growing up, like I said. And just a few years ago, I just thought, it's something I've always loved and I've wanted to try. And so I just thought, you know what? give it a go. Just make some puppets, and then luckily, there's guys over here that are very good at doing this type of job. And I have a particular friend called Phil Fletcher, but he's better known to people over in the UK as Hacker the Dog from Children's BBC. And he lives not too far from here, and so I would pester him as a sad fan, and he was great. He was very encouraging and helped me and mentored me and gave me ideas on how I could. And basically, I upped my game and made better puppets through him by using proper materials, through using the sort of Muppety type fleece, and using proper like reticulated foam, so you've got a nice sort of shape to work with and everything. And so it sort of evolved and it's grown. And as you know, like puppets are quite small. They're not like as tall as. I mean, I'm quite a tall chap. I'm 6'3" or 191 in metric. And so really, when I'm doing them, all the sets and everything, I have to make those as well. So I have to make the costumes, and then I have to make the TARDIS console, which is all half scale, and then the TARDIS itself is half scale, and so it keeps me very busy. And as you can imagine, but creating the whole world, starts with. This isn't a green screen. This is actually, a printed backdrop as well, and so I do a lot of this stuff.
Well, I know what that's the door to, and I guess you might be a bit of a Doctor Who fan. So who came first then? Which was the first character that was created?
Well, I worked on two concurrently, and they were both different shaped heads. One was quite a round head, and one was kind of more pointed. And if anyone's familiar with the old like Sesame Street, there was a couple of characters on there called Ernie and Bert. And so they were basically my templates for these characters. And the first two that I made was a Peter Capaldi with a big sort of grumpy eyebrow. And then the other one was a little Sylvester McCoy, complete with a little question mark jumper. And so those were sort of my testing ground, and they were my first. And I just realised they're both the Scottish Doctors. So,
yeah, we were speaking to Sylvester earlier today, and he did say the best Doctors come from Scotland, but he may be slightly biased, maybe.
I suspect so. Sylvester has met my Sylvester as well, and he always says as well that nobody does impersonations of him. I'm not even going to say I do an impersonation. I think the liberty that I get through doing the puppets is that I get to do my interpretation. So as long as they're sort of familiar and they look like how you'd imagine a puppet version of that character to look, I can get away with a lot. So I don't profess that I do absolute perfect mimicry or that type of, but as long as it's a Muppety kind of voice in that area, then that's what I try and get away with.
I love the girl power video that you did on YouTube. After this session, everybody go and check it out. It is brilliant. I cannot ever hear the Coldplay song Yellow done the way that Jodie does it ever again. I love that. So I think certainly the Jodie character is, it's got the mannerisms and it's got those sort of little hints through the voice and then the accent and very posh Romana. It's just brilliant the way that's done.
Well, that's it. And what's interesting about that little video, that was the first time that I tried doing some split screen. So if you look closely, I'm giving away all the rubbish bits now that you shouldn't notice, but there is a sort of a slight blur down the centre where I tried to match some. But the best thing about that is I'm playing against me doing Jodie, and then 10 minutes later, me doing Romana. And then having to remember what I've said and say the lines in my head and hoping that I'm responding to each piece of conversation. It's not easy.
So it's never worked with animals and children, but apparently today we've learned it's definitely puppets as well.
Well, that's it. And they're all little divas, all of them.
Yeah, no, I mean, they have their own stories to tell, but they have to be told through you. So they're going to make you work for it.
They do, yeah, they do.
Um,
And certainly, we might be meeting a couple in a little bit.
ooh,
And depending on, because of the costumes and things like that they wear, some can be blooming heavy, So, um,
right.
yeah,
So this.
it's a bit of a wear because, it's basically I'm doing this with my hand.
Hmm.
And when I open my hand, their mouth opens. But then when you think there's foam on top of that and fleece on top of that and then fabrics on top of that and wigs on top of that, the whole thing does start to weigh a little bit. And if that's right on top of your arm, it's a hard life.
Maybe that's what I need to do, to work out. Maybe some puppets would be better than going to a combat session. So you've mentioned that they are quite diva-ish, but obviously it's a lot of hard work that you're putting in there and building all the sets and making all the props and everything. We loved your little TARDIS and even the Cybermen. They're just brilliant, great characters. So hats off, just brilliant. This is a live session, so we do have an audience here with us this evening. If you do have any questions, anybody, and we're going to be opening the questions up for some people that are going to be coming to join you hopefully very soon. So if anybody has any questions that you'd like to put to Jason or to maybe we'd like to talk to one of the characters, do put your comments or questions in the comments section and we can ask questions. Do you have anybody from the cast that would like to join us for a chat this evening?
Certainly. Why don't I just, like I say, they are diva-ish, so I'm going to have to go off and persuade them to come on.
Okay.
Does that make
sense? It's a green room moment.
Yeah, I'll be right back.
Okay, no problem. You go and see who you can get out of the green room. So while Jason is off to the green room to see who's sipping champagne in there, it's a bit like Jonathan Ross, isn't it? They always go to the green room on Jonathan Ross. If you do have any questions for Jason or the characters, then do drop them into the comments and we can ask them, which would be good. Other than that, we will be joined very shortly also by another guest. Yee Jee will be joining us all the way from Canada to talk about a new project he has. And then we'll be launching our free escape room thanks to the team at the Gamelab. Oh, hello. Hello, somebody's joining us. Hello!
Hello, it's me. I'm the Doctor. But don't call me Dr. Who, because that's not my name. That's the name of the telly show. It's a good one, that one, isn't it? Yeah.
Oh, you are fantastic. We don't have a question, but John wants to know, can you bring the show to Glasgow, please? Do you fancy going to Glasgow at all, Doctor?
Well, I love Glasgow. And you know why I love Glasgow so much?
No.
Because it's got police boxes on the street. There's a lovely one on Buchanan Street, and then up the road on Socky Hall Street, there's another one, and it was so exciting. And I love Glasgow, and I'd love to come to Glasgow.
So you're a bit of a star now, obviously through the TV show, but also on YouTube. How are you coping with stardom?
Oh, well, I don't really think of myself as a star.
I'm sorry.
Maybe a bit of constellation.
A constellation. Yeah, absolutely brilliant. This is fantastic.
You've got stars on my earring, look.
Oh, they're beautiful.
It's good, that, isn't it? Yeah.
Okay, I have never spoken to a puppet. I have no idea what to ask.
Well, I can't see any comments or anything because, well, my eyes are plastic.
No, you can't say that.
Oh, no! Have I done a spoiler?
So now you're one of the big stars of Avenue Who. Do you get to meet the other doctors?
Well, yeah, sometimes I meet them, but only by accident. I try not to do it.
It's that timey-wimey stuff. You've got to watch out for that. It's
all very wibbly-wobbly, timey-wimey. And it was always a pain because when I was that last one, I regenerated and I realised I was running around Sheffield with tartan scratchy underpants on.
Okay, well, I've got a great question about the tartan scratchy underpants. So Mark has asked, what was the best thing about changing from being a grumpy Scotsman into the fabulous doctor that we see before us?
Well, it's getting out of those underpants, obviously. But then I also managed to make myself a new sonic screwdriver out of a spoon.
Ooh.
There's no
Very
end to
clever.
my talents.
You are very
Some would
talented.
say there's no start to my talents.
Now, where will we be able to see you performing soon? Because obviously you're on YouTube, but are you going to go out on tour? Will people be able to catch you elsewhere around the country potentially?
Well, yeah, it's funny you should say that. This is all very exciting because later this year we are doing an Avenue Who live show. It means us in live, where people can come and see us, and it's dead exciting, and it's going to be in August on the 11th and 12th, so it's in the school holidays, and it's going to be at a place called Norton Priory, and it's very exciting, and we've got to do rehearsals and everything.
Oh, rehearsals. That sounds like hard work. Are you the star of the show, or are there other doctors that we might meet?
This is me, and it's in we travel through time, and as we travel through time, we get to meet other Doctor Who's.
Oh, that's absolutely fantastic. I can't wait. So Norton Priory in August in the school holidays. Will people be able to find out about that on your Facebook page, maybe?
Certainly will, yeah. It's I've been working with some people, and they're called A Place for Us, and some lovely people called Kate and Chris, and they've been great helping to put the show together.
That's fantastic. Jason, is there anybody else that would like to come and talk to us, or would Jodie like to stay for a bit longer?
Well, certainly. I'll go and ask that the old one with the big nose. 1 second.
The old one. The old one with the big nose.
Who could that be?
I don't know. Who could that be? Who do you think it is, ladies and gentlemen? Who do you think it is, boys and girls? That's what it feels like. So we're waiting. We're going to have the old one with the big nose. Yeah, if you want to find out more, this is the Facebook page. So go to facebook.com/Avenue Who, where you can find out more, including that show. And here he is, the old one with the big nose. Hello!
Hello there, my dears. Would you like a jelly baby?
I always want a jelly baby. Please, Doctor. You are my doctor.
And who's she calling Big Nose? Doesn't she know? I'm all teeth and curls.
Oh, this is absolutely crazy. This is the highlight so far of the day. I'm getting to talk to the most amazing doctors. So thank you so much for coming along. Does anybody have any questions for the fabulous? Now I'm not mentioning the nose, but all teeth and fabulous curls and a lovely scarf there.
It's a very long scarf.
It is a very long scarf. Did you make that yourself?
Oh, no, Madame Nostradamus made it for me. She was a witty little knitter.
That is fantastic. Now, are you looking forward to going out on tour?
Oh, yes, it'll be very exciting. And, yes, I'll turn up in episode 4. So they saved the best till last.
So if you're going on tour with all of the other doctors, are you going to have a fantastic time? Are you going to go and have lots of parties, or is it going to be a nice subdued sort of tour?
Well, some of us are getting on a bit now, so I suspect we'll be in bed nice and early with a cup of cocoa.
Okay. Tomorrow we do have the Daleks chatting to us, so tomorrow I will have my surreal moment of afternoon tea with Daleks. So this is possibly not the most surreal moment of the BritSciFi event, but do go and check out Avenue Who, where you can go and see all these fabulous characters. Thank you so much for joining us, Doctor.
Oh, you're very welcome. Yes, it's been very good. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome. And do you think Jason would like to come back and talk to us just for a moment, Doctor?
Oh, I don't know. Do you want to? I think he said yes.
Okay, there goes the Doctor. Dun 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 dun. Oh, okay, that was absolutely the most surreal thing that we've done today. And you know, we've had a very surreal day. Oh, how was that for you?
Do you know what? Like I said, they're just divas and they just do what they want. They don't listen to me at all.
No, well, it was very obvious, but then I was completely out of my comfort zone. I didn't even think of questions for doctors. I only thought of questions for you.
It's probably best, really. You know, you don't want to delve into their psyche.
Yeah.
You know, inside their head, it's all like foam and fleece, really. And soft, squidgy stuff.
I think that's me as well. I think definitely after this weekend, I think that's definitely me. It's all squidgy up there. Yes, we've said to people, go and have a look at Facebook Avenue Q, Avenue Who even, sorry, faux pas there.
Q, who are they?
I don't know. You said it earlier. I've just got caught up in it. So Avenue Who over on Facebook, Avenue Who over on YouTube as well. People can go and have a look at your YouTube. And when will tickets be on sale for Norton Priory?
Well, they're on sale now, and like the doctors were saying, it's the 11th and 12th of August later this year. It's up at a place called Norton Priory, which is in Runcorn, which is in the sort of northwest of England. And it's we're doing 8 performances, so we're really cramming them all in, and so I'm sure there'll be plenty of opportunity if you can make it up this far. Then it would be amazing to see you, and I'm sure all the doctors would love to meet you as well.
Yeah, no, it sounds fabulous. I think everybody's looking for something to do soon, and now we're getting on that roadmap to recovery. The Space Centre opens on the 22nd of May, so we are starting to get back to. I mean, there's still social distancing. We still, have to follow all of the guidelines, obviously. But just having that ability to go and spend time with people and enjoy things. And I can't think of anything more enjoyable than, if you're a Whovian, the idea that you can go along and meet all of these doctors and it's going to be fun. I think there will be a lot of people interested in that. Go over and check out on Facebook. Go over and check out on YouTube. Jason, it's been fantastic chatting to you. And thank you so much for bringing those brilliant guests to meet us. I know there's lots more. What other characters can we look forward to seeing?
Well, if you check out YouTube, you'll see that there are a lot on there. And the cast continues to grow. But actually in the show, we're going to have number 13, Jodie. We're having number 10, David. Number 7, Sylvester, and number 4, the great old Tom Teeth and Curls himself.
Brilliant. Yes, I love Missy. I'm sorry, the video of "Hey Missy, you're so fine." She is fine.
Well, that's it. I'm planning to do a little series of spin-off episodes with Missy coming very soon, and that little sort of teaser, title sequence, because even though she's left the show, we're not ready to say goodbye to her just yet.
No, we can't say no.
So there we go. So our Missy will be putting wrong what once went right for the Doctor. She's definitely meddling in some mischief.
Oh, well, I love the meddling and I love Missy as a character, so brilliant. Thank you so much for joining us and thank you for bringing some joy and completely making me fall apart and not be able to do my job, which, I do on a daily basis, but so don't worry about it. I'm going to hand over the IT guy now, so he's going to be able to bring us another guest, but in the meantime, thank you so much, Jason.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye. Right, so while the IT guy now goes and gets us another guest through the delights of Skype, I will talk a little bit about today. If you've missed any of the sessions that we have had on today, then do go on over to our Facebook page, click onto videos, then click onto BritSciFi. You'll find a whole playlist which will show you all of the things that we've had today and yesterday, and you can enjoy those things there. Oh, it looks like our next guest is not online yet. Oh goodness, what are we going to do? Maybe our third guest will be online.
Let's just try this one.
Okay, so the IT guy is going to try once more and see if we can get some of the delights of technology today. If you've got any questions for us, please do drop them in the comments. I'm more than happy to answer them. If you've got any suggestions going forward, then please also do drop those in the comments as well. And like I say, we look forward to running live events very soon.
Oh, blimey.
Wow.
That was loud.
Well, you can tell we're using Skype. So it looks like we do have a guest joining us, and luckily he was there a little bit earlier. So we've mentioned the fact that we will be launching a free escape room today, thanks to the fantastic team at the Gamelab. So I'm joined now by Mark from the Gamelab. Hello, Mark.
Oh yeah, not quite from Canada. I'm coming all the way from Birmingham.
You're a little. Yes, you are. All the way from Birmingham, just around the corner from Leicester. Thank you so much for being there early for us. We will try and get our second guest in, but it's very much appreciated. Now, Mark, obviously we've met before because you did an amazing online experience at the National Space Centre for people to enjoy. But do you want to just give us a very brief overview of the Gamelab and what it is that you do? What can people go to your website and see?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the Gamelab basically it's a family run business. There's a few of us involved. Mainly it's me and my grown-up son, and we do escape rooms. So we had an idea to do mobile escape rooms. So I bought an old horse box which we converted, and we started taking that to some of like the conventions. And basically just running a short sort of like interactive experience for people to have a go, and sometimes have a theme. So we never sort of like contravened any sort of like anybody's rights, but we'd have like a superheroes one or a wizard version for various ones. And then bizarrely, we found out that people quite like the idea of doing weddings. So we've actually done some people's weddings where we go around and provide wedding entertainment for the guests, and that's been interesting. And then we've started doing other sort of like escape experiences. So we were all set up to do a long-term one for the Apollo 13 at the Space Centre, but unfortunately the pandemic put a stop to that. So we did sort of an interactive version, which is a video escape room set in the Space Centre, filmed in the Space Centre. That's on our website now. And we've started to do things with some other venues, but with the pandemic, we just haven't been able to sort of finish the film and get it all finished. So those are still in the pipeline. And then what we start to do as well is like effectively text-based puzzle adventures. So, which is what we've done for this weekend for the Space Centre for the British Sci-Fi. So it's a text-based puzzle adventure that has escape and a bit of choose your own fate elements in it.
Fantastic! I love the idea that people do escape rooms at their wedding. It's like, I want to run away.
Well, it's a niche market, but you know what I mean. We do some of the wedding shows, and some of the looks we get as if to say, "What are you doing?" But you know, what sort of whatever 1 in 20, 1 in 30. Actually, couples come over. We're getting off subject. We had a couple come up, and they were like, they looked at it and they went, "This is amazing." And the chap had proposed to his fiancée at an escape room. So he'd gone in beforehand, and the last puzzle, they'd swapped it out, and he put the engagement ring in. So they did it, and she's like, "What's this?" And he got down on his knee and proposed, and he went, "This is perfect for our wedding." So, you know, whenever weddings are like fully back on, you know, we've arranged to go and do their wedding for them. So it was a perfect fit.
Yeah, I mean, there's lots of things that people do to entertain their guests. I mean, I've been to weddings where you had crazy golf outside and, you know, all kinds of things. Chocolate fountains, obviously. I still want to do the full head in the chocolate fountain thing, but no, I'm not going to get away with it. So I can't see why not escape rooms.
Well, it does work because it's undercover. We can pull up quite close to the doors. I mean, it's a horse box. You can get 4 or 5 people into it. We can pull up quite close. So, you know, we're not even weather dependent. So it does work if you're into it, really.
Fantastic. Now, let's talk a little bit about what people can do as from, now, really.
Yes.
We're going to put up a URL and people will be able to click on it. So how does it work? Can people play singly or in teams? And explain a little bit about the mechanic of this escape room.
We've tried to make it as accessible as possible. So it's based on British sci-fi, which I'm a big fan of. It's done in a very sort of light-hearted way. You don't need to be massively into your sci-fi. The puzzles aren't overly British sci-fi related. There's just lots of references within the story that people will pick up. I know some of the interviews earlier, I think Alex Kingston was saying about having Easter eggs. This is full of Easter eggs. So if you know your sci-fi, you'll see lots of references to it. And in fact, the problem was when I started to write it, it's like, how am I going to get it all in there? So, but effectively, it's an adventure that you can play by yourself, or if you want to share your screen with other people, you can do. It's definitely family friendly. There's old stuff and there's new stuff. There's lots of Doctor Who. I don't want to give any answers away, but it's going back to like Quatermass, lots of Jerry Anderson stuff in there as well. Hitchhiker's Guide, Red Dwarf. But, I've crammed in as many references as I possibly can.
You're a geek.
Effectively, you read a little bit of text and it's like, do you want to go left or right? You might click on left or right and it's like, okay, the door's locked. You need to enter a code, look around, where's the clues? And it's not for people who are seriously into their escape rooms, who want to be tested. We haven't set it at that level. So generally all the answers are there, but you can get it wrong. And if you make the wrong choice and you go the wrong way, the person in the game might not survive and you bump back and you can start again. And it is a choose your own fate. So you can play it, get to the end, and then you can start it again. And rather than going left, you went right, and you will get a slightly different story with different puzzles. That's the way we've tried to pitch it, really.
Brilliant, thank you so much for that. The IT guy's just trying to put the URL up on the screen, but I'll drop it into the comments as well. Okay, he's going to go back, so it's just me. So we're going to lose you. Oh, that's depressing. So it's just me. No, we're just putting it. He's just sorting out things into the right screens. We're playing it all by ear here. So that says Avenue Who. That's not it. It's this one, ladies and gentlemen. That's your URL. That's the one you need. If you're interested just in looking at some online escape rooms, there are a couple. You've got a railway one, and obviously you've got a space centre one. If people just go to your website.
The Space Centre one is up there. The railway one, it was really nearly completed, but with the COVID, it hasn't been finished. So it was up there for the railway people to have a look at, but it's not on there for people to play at the moment, simply because we haven't been able to finish it. I mean, we're trying to work with venues and either text-based or, go in and do video and sort of show off to their best of qualities. The great thing about coming to the Space Centre, which I've been to lots of times, is it's a brilliant venue, so there's lots of interesting things, and obviously for that is a proper escape room one, and it's all related to space puzzles. So if you're into the Space Centre, that's there as well. The great thing for the this one is it's just a free experience. So I'm not overly selling it. But it turns out there's so much British sci-fi, we couldn't cram it all in. I mean, effectively, we tried to make the game 40 minutes to 60 minutes long. If you go back and play it again from the start, you can make it last longer. But it turns out there was too much sci-fi to get in. So we've sort of finished the story, and if you do it, you win, great. But potentially, without giving any spoilers, there's going to be a sequel, just to get the rest of the British sci-fi in. So that will be coming in a few weeks' time. So
what have we done to you? We've made you work even harder, Mark. I do apologise.
Well, you know what? I can't believe how much fun it's been, and it's funny because I was listening to some of the interviews earlier when I was seeing some and other people were on, and I mean, I've got to say, when I was listening to the Lee Sullivan one, it's like my background feels very sort of like, I'm disappointed in my background. He had a fantastic background to hear. But it's when you start to write it, it's like, where's this going? And it's like, I've no idea. And it's like, I'm enjoying the adventure, going along with it, even though I'm actually sort of writing most of it. So it's been great fun.
Good. I'm glad you've enjoyed it and you've had something to do during the lockdown period. I know you've been busy, but there it is for you, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks to the team at the Gamelab. There's the URL that you need to go and start playing. Don't go yet. Wait.
It's on all weekend.
Yeah.
And just want to say the Space Centre put up a prize for it. So when there's like an introduction, so you can take your time, work out how to play the game. It's all up there. When you actually start to play the game, an automatic timer starts on it. When you finish the game, the timer stops. So if you want to enter the competition, take a screenshot at the end. It'll have the time on there. Send it in. Whichever person or team, whatever, gets the fastest time, the Space Centre are putting up a year's annual pass as a prize. So
Yep.
it's free to enter, have a bit of fun, and someone will win a free pass out of it as well. So it's a win for everyone.
Brilliant. Thank you, Mark. We will put this up on the Facebook page so that people can see the URL, and we will put that mechanic up there as well so people know how to enter the competition. So I can leave you now to have your Saturday night. So do enjoy the rest of your weekend. And thank you so much for coming along, not only in supporting us by providing this fantastic experience, but also watching some of the sessions. So thank you for that. I hope to see you very soon, Mark.
Take care. Thank you.
Cheers.
Good luck.
Bye.
Bye.
Right, that was Mark from the Gamelab, and obviously you can go away at the end of this session and enjoy that game. But for the time being, we're going to try and see if we can get our second guest to become our third guest. So let's try one more time to see if we can get guest number 2 as guest number 3, if that makes any sense. You can tell what we're doing, can't you? Oh, it looks like we have connection. Yay! Yay! Hello, Yee Jee. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad, thanks. How are you?
Well, I'm just really jealous. I'm looking behind you at that weather. It looks phenomenal.
Yeah, it's beautiful right here.
It's raining here, but then, this is this is England. What do you expect?
True. Yes. Are you up in the northern half of England as well?
No, we're right in the centre, so Leicester's right in the heart. And today, I don't know if you're into football in any way, shape or form, but today our local team is in the FA Cup final. So most of our city is currently watching football, I think. So
nice.
we thank everybody who is joining us here this evening for our little chat show. Obviously, we've spoken before, and tomorrow people will be able to enjoy this fantastic session that you, Paul, and Daphne did talking about the movie. But what we wanted to talk about tonight was a little bit about a project that you've worked on that we'd love to know a bit more about. So can you tell us a little bit more about Time and Spaces?
Yeah, I mean, it's the basic content of it is these photographs that I took when I was on set filming the Doctor Who. Back then, they didn't have the same kind of restrictions on set photography that they do now. And I had my little film camera, my Nikon FE, and just kind of set it up places and took pictures of this and that. And those pictures and everything all got lost over time. I didn't know what happened to them, but my wife discovered them not too long ago, a few years ago in the garage in a box that had just kind of been shuffled around through the years. And it had a copy of the script in there and some of the location schedules and all that. So I kind of pieced together the history of the production through these documents and these photos and published it in a book with Milk Publishing and more recently in like an audio-visual format.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for telling us a little bit about it. You must be really excited that your wife found these things. I mean, can your wife come and see if she can find anything in my house, please? I hadn't put a lot of thought to these things, until I saw them. And then I was like, I clearly couldn't help but feel somebody would want to see them. So yeah, that was when, I don't know, I was just kind of randomly talking about that stuff on Twitter, and then a publisher in the UK, Matt from Milk, reached out and said, "Hey, let's make a book out of this thing." So yeah, it all fell together. Fantastic. Yeah, I mean, it's sometimes those candid shots that you have from sets and things. I know that certainly for things like when Star Wars production photos become available and people see what goes into making the movies, that's sometimes more exciting because we don't think about those things. So are there any shots that stand out for you, or is there any images or things that you took at the time? Yeah, there's a couple. I don't know if I can share screen with this. I probably can, I think. But there's a shot of. Are you guys? Is that actually working? Yeah. There's a shot of the cloister room. I don't know if you guys can see this or not. Yeah, we've got the massive Skype logo in the middle, but it's fine.
Oh, is there a Skype logo on top of the image?
It's all right. It's. I think we're sharing it as a 3-person. And there we go. There, we can see the whole thing. Fantastic. Thank you.
Cool. Yeah, so this is a shot of the cloister room, and everybody's setting up and doing their stuff, and you can see how many people are actually involved. And one of the torches you can see is lit, and they're about to light the other one. They're just about to start going on this thing, and those torches were live, actual torches that people lit on fire when they started shooting, and then turned them off. In between, you've got a smoke machine on the bottom left. So yeah, I mean, it was really quite a grand production, and there's another shot that one was in the book. This one is not in the book actually, but it's in the video, where you can see how they've transformed this sort of alleyway, this conjunction of alleyways in Chinatown here in Vancouver into a set. That all of the stuff they basically brought in everything that you see. Nothing there was there before the crew put it there, including all of the signs, clearly the lights and so forth. The only thing that's actually part of the landscape here is the buildings, right? So yeah, it's pretty cool, I think.
No, that is
neat to see.
That is fascinating. Is that the part where we would have seen IT guy? I can't see.
Sorry.
Oh,
it's not you. Oh well, I'll keep on talking. It's we can't see you at the moment, I'm afraid, Yee Jee. So
okay.
I'll just keep on going. Was that the scene where? Oh, there we go. Where Sylvester was shot? Was that where the TARDIS would have been? That second photo. Yeah,
that's exactly it.
Yeah. Poor old Sylvester.
Yeah, I know. I've always felt really bad for that.
Yeah. He literally arrives, had a good time in his fabulous interior of his TARDIS, which he described as his perfect interior, and then gets shot, and then Grace attacks him and stops both his hearts. Good on you, Grace.
Yeah. Yeah, I had a chat with him about... It was actually when I was putting the book together, I thought I'd have a chat with Sylvester about some of these locations and his thoughts on the production and so forth. And he was saying how that whole steampunk era sort of feel of the TARDIS was it was his sort of dream TARDIS, and he never really considered it as giving it up to Paul McGann. He still kind of considers it his, which I mean in a way I think he definitely deserves that. He's a gem.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm a bit of a steampunk fan, so that Jules Verne whole thing, yeah, definitely. Favourite TARDIS interior for a short period. I'm sure on a different day it'll be a different TARDIS interior. You've gone back to some of those locations and looked at how things have evolved. Do you intend to keep going back and seeing how things change and evolve? It must be a fascinating part of the process. Yeah. I mean, some of these places are within walking distance of my house, so that's why this sort of theme arose, where the idea of, there's one part of the book where I talked about that corner where we shot in the alley there, right next to there was where this restaurant, Buys Chicken, was run by Jimi Hendrix's grandmother, or Jimi Hendrix's grandmother worked there, and so he was he spent time there, and there was this historic part of Chinatown called Hogan's Alley, where he would hang out with like Louis Armstrong and these these very iconic music icons. And so if you just from the passage of time, all of these things happen in this sort of innocuous looking alleyway, in some random Vancouver alleyway, and it started to really fascinate me. Like, so where have these spaces, how have they progressed? Like, what have they turned into now? And the hospital, for example, was under a massive renovation, so I didn't get a chance to take photos of there. But for the 30th, I plan on going back. I didn't do it for the 25th because obviously, there's not really a lot of visiting places. I'm certainly not going to go to the hospital and just bust in there and try to start taking photos, right? But for the 30th, I do plan on revisiting these places and updating all those photos. Fantastic, thank you. You're slightly frozen on our screen there, so we'll start talking a bit about where people can go and see this project. I'm going to just put up this URL here. So if people, you said that initially this was a book, but now it's online. So if people go to this website, so it's your website with the /book, people are able to go and see these images and what you've done with them. What else can people see on this website?
I've got a blog on there now about living with OCD and anxiety, especially through the pandemic. There's my filmography and just regular kind of actory stuff. There's also a link to some of the music productions that I've been doing. Involving some really fine session musicians at this platform called Tunedly that I work with. So there's a bunch of stuff on there. And once on the 27th is when I'm planning on launching the online access, and at that point, there'll be the sort of audio visual production of the book there, and I'll get to update it because it's online and I can update it live. I can start to add in additional content there over the years as well, and then for the 30th, we'll hopefully have a new print edition coming out that'll replace all of that.
Brilliant. Now, I mean, I love the idea of it being online. We have got so many books, but obviously if we do a 30th anniversary edition, then I will have to get that as well. And you have very kindly offered a discount to people who are participating in the festival. So we've also put that up on the screen. So if people type in BritSciFi 25, there is a discount on this access. So if you just remind us once again, when would that be available from?
You can pre-order now and you'll just get access when it comes out and you'll get a notification of such, but the actual release will be the 27th. It's kind of celebrating the 25th anniversary of the air date I think the first air date in England was on the 27th of May. So
brilliant. That sounds perfect and something to definitely look forward to at the end of this lockdown. In the UK, we are going back to going outside and meeting people and being able to be in things like restaurants and bars. So that's, wow. Yeah, I know. So everybody's very happy over here at the moment. So the fact that we can also now go and see all of these great images, but also see the progress and see the stories that are behind them, then I think that's a very exciting project.
Cool.
So a massive thank you for joining us this evening and for putting up with all of our technical issues. We will put a link to this on our Facebook page with the code as well. So hopefully lots of people will be able to see these images and your work and read your blog as well, because I think, like you say, there's been lots of people struggling during lockdown. It's one of the reasons we did this festival, was just to spend time with fans and spend time as a community and just go into homes where people have spent, a year in isolation. So thank you so much for that. And thank you for your time. I hope to be able to see you in person in the UK in the future.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Great. Thank you very much, Yee Jee.
Thank you.
Have a great day.
You too.
That's it, ladies and gentlemen. That is our final guest for our evening for BritSciFi. Don't forget, lots of things for you to see tomorrow. Should we just go through the schedule very quickly for tomorrow, for Sunday?
I can get.
Yep. So don't forget, kick off with a tour at 10. We go into conversation with Daphne, Paul and Yee Jee, who we just spoke to there. 10:30, conversation with the Cyber Legion at 12. 1:30, we're going to have our Tomorrow People panel. 3 o'clock, we go to talk to David Bradley. 4:15, the madness that will be Afternoon Tea with the Daleks, which I'm really looking forward to. And then finishing off a fantastic session with Chris Thompson, who will be showing you how to illustrate a 3D TARDIS. Loads of things for you to enjoy. We hope you've had a fantastic day with us. Don't forget, you can go back and watch anything that you've missed on our YouTube channel, but also in the videos section of our Facebook page. Other than that, it's been a fantastic day. I'm going to go and have dinner. Oh,
can we mention the URLs? And can we mention
okay.
The Gamelab URL needs
yes,
HTML.
Yes. Okay. So we're just going to go and update the all of the information on our Facebook page with all the correct website links. So do go and have a look at that, including the Gamelab website, which needs an additional HTML at the end. So we'll go and make sure that that's there for everybody to try. See you in the morning. Thank you. Good night.